Good afternoon and welcome back to another episode of the Journey into the Mind with Francis Newman. This time I have to hold a mic so that I'm able to have good sound in the background. I am not going to apologize because I'm simply trying to do my best. Today my lesson will be on how to listen to our intuition. First of all, let me thank you for being with me one more time, and thank you for listening to my video and being on my page. Have you ever listened to your feelings that try to warn you about something that you completely ignored? Have you? I know I have. There is a reason for that. We doubt ourselves and we tend to believe what other people think is good for us instead of listening to what I call gut feelings and intuition. That simply means that when you get that feeling about a person, a business deal, a proposition, a decision, or a choice that you have to make, follow it through because we are gifted human beings who have the ability to have our emotions send signals to the brain as well as the body and the guides to tell us when something is or isn't wrong. I don't know how many of you have the ability to look at someone's face and be able to detect and see whether they are honest, sincere, kind, loving, or if they have any issues. Yes, we, especially women, have the ability and the capacity, as well as the gift of understanding the nature of others just by simply looking at a photo. Simply looking at a photo can tell you a lot about an individual. I don't know what is it that portrays the physical appearance and tells you about it, but I do understand that it's possible to read about that person just from a photo and maybe even a behavior when you meet someone. Although they say that first impressions are not always true, I bet the difference. I bet the difference. Because when you always get that gut feeling and you ignore it, there are consequences to pay because we simply tend to ignore the feelings that we get from inside our heart, our body, ourselves, and even our mind that says, watch it, be careful, listen, and you should. I would like for you to try to remember a time when you made a decision and you were wrong about it, or where you didn't and you felt bad. You felt guilty and you felt as if you had done something wrong and regret it perhaps for a long time or for as long as you can remember. I know I have. Now think, why did you make the decision the way you did or did not? What happened when you made it or when you didn't make it a decision of something that was presented to you but you ignored it? What were the consequences? How did you feel? Then reinstate that with something that you have to do and you want to listen to your gut feelings for a second to try to really understand what will be the nature of the choice that you have to make. Will this be a good or bad? Simply analyze it step by step through the feelings that you get when you ask yourself those questions. Because number one, the success will depend upon whether you make the right decision or not. And number two, your failures will also depend upon whether you make the wrong decision or not. Both of which can be very helpful to you, to your future, to your success or whatever decision you're looking for, whether it is in business or even in a relationship, which is so common. So many of us have made the wrong decision in relationship only to pay a very high price emotionally, with consequences that have not only conscious but subconscious regrets in our lives. We all do that. Nobody's exempt from that. We learn by mistakes sometimes, only because we're not listening to the inside. We're not listening to that gut feeling that says, be careful, be careful. And you see the flashes, but we ignore it. We tend to ignore those flashes that say, you should not do this. You must think about it thoroughly before you make a decision. For me, I can say that I have this gift of looking at somebody and knowing precisely what is it behind the physique or the simple appeal that is giving me all this feedback, which sometimes I resent and not listen to and make decisions that I am so regretful for. I want to prevent you from doing things like that because recently I had a feeling about a person and it was precisely what I thought. Whenever you encounter a lot of difficulties in a situation that you keep trying and trying and trying and you're not being successful, it's not that you give up and you do not want to try to be successful, but that you'd rather go a different route and find something that you can navigate through in a very easy and smooth way without having all the complications that you're having. Because the flashlight on the other side says the complications have begun and they will not end there. There will be further complications as far as that is concerned. And that is the truth because I can attest to that. The only reason why I can give you all of these examples is because I myself have experienced similar consequences in decisions and warnings that I did not listen to when I should have. I would like to thank you for taking the time to listen to my video. And I don't want to make it a big brief because we all know the fact that intuition is something that people use in making decisions. Mr. Richard Branson is one of those persons who made decisions based upon his intuition. And Steve Jobs was also one of those who say that he listened to his intuition whenever he wanted to make a right decision about his business. And it is common nowadays that if we learn enough about intuition and our subconscious mind trying to tell us something, that we should be able to listen. However, we are human beings and we're not perfect and we make mistakes. But it's essential to listen. I am guided today by the decisions I make through the feelings I'm getting when I see something that perhaps may not be what I want. And then I balance between one and the other. If I have been to similar situations in the past and I was not successful, and it was very mind boggling because I could not break through, why do I want to have a coconut head and try to make the same decision to face the same problems? I don't need to challenge myself or prove anything to anyone out there except the fact that if I go a different path, I will now know and develop a more intuitive way to deal with what I'm doing and perhaps even become more creative. When we recognize our gift within, with our mind, we awaken to the reality that we have a very precious tool to go by, which is our mind, our gut feelings, and our emotions to make decisions that can be more fruitful rather than regretful. It has been a pleasure as usual to have you be my baby. And I thank you once again. Stay present, be awake, and make the right choices. Thank you, and have a wonderful Sunday. Monday, I should say. Goodbye. This is Francis Pam from the Journey into the Moment. Have a wonderful week. It is the holiday.